Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Raleen Marks, your host, and we bring you the news from Israel every Monday to Thursday. And slowly, countries are starting to wake up from lockdown. Whether or not this is a good decision, that's all debatable. But Israel is no exception. And on Saturday night, or last Saturday night, it was announced that we will slightly lift restrictions. And as we speak, Israel's cabinet is meeting to discuss the possibility of further lifting a few restrictions. And this all happens as we approach Yom HaZikaron, the annual day of remembrance, and Yom HaAtzmaut, the annual Independence Day, where we will be going into lockdown to discourage people from gathering en masse in the forests, on the beaches, or in people's homes. But a very controversial decision yesterday taken by the defense establishment to shutter or block access to cemeteries that are on Yom HaZikaron. And the reason they have done this is to protect families from being infected by the coronavirus, and instead have said that they invite families to stagger their visits from today until lunchtime on Tuesday, just before, or lunchtime on Monday rather, just before the holiday comes in. And this is to ensure that people don't gather too closely together, thereby minimizing the risks. But this morning, it came to light that many small businesses are complaining that if other businesses like IKEA, which is now open, and several others are allowed to open, they feel that they should be allowed to open soon. Now, we understand the plight of small businesses. However, we also have to protect against the further spread of the virus. So this is currently under discussion now. And what could possibly happen is the government may give the go-ahead for more people to be allowed to enter a workspace and further businesses to be allowed to open, providing, of course, that they meet with all the criteria of social distancing, of hygiene practices, of what we call purple badge practices. Also up for debate is the possibility of allowing restaurants to open for takeout only. At the moment, there is a select few restaurants that are open that do deliveries, but the government feel that, and certainly small businesses feel that if they practice all the social distancing norms, they should be allowed to open too. So this is currently happening under great debate. And also under debate was the figures or stats released today. There seemed to be a massive jump in the amount of people infected. Now, this is for two reasons. Number one, Israel has increased the amount of tests that we are doing, and also the reporting on these numbers was late. So it gave the impression that the numbers seriously hiked up. But with increased testing, so is the expectation of an increased amount of infection. So let's take a look at where our stats are at the moment. At the moment, there are 14,592 confirmed cases of corona. Of this, we have 136 that are serious, which is down on yesterday's figure, and about 107 people are on ventilators. Our death toll has gone up to 191, with 2 people passing away overnight, and that's an increase of 2 since yesterday, but a very big increase in the amount of people who have fully recovered at 5,334. So those are your COVID details, but while this is all still going on, we still have to maintain national security against other threats. And yesterday, the Shin Bet announced that they had arrested 3 Hamas operatives who were planning to carry out attacks on IDF soldiers in the Ramallah area and on the iconic Teddy Kollek Stadium in Jerusalem that can hold up to 30,000 people. They were intercepted and arrested. And this comes after a terror attack took place yesterday in Ma'ale Adumim, when a terrorist rammed his car into an IDF soldier, got out the car, stabbed the soldier, and was subsequently neutralized. And in other international news, and she's done it again, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib has been slammed by critics on social media for neglecting to mention that Jews were murdered during the Holocaust. Tlaib released a tweet saying that she stands and she shows her solidarity for the millions of people killed during the Holocaust. And it behooved many of us to remind her that Yom HaShoah specifically focused on the genocide of the Jewish communities of Europe and North Africa, and her neglect to mention that Jews were targeted, Jews were killed, and that the day specifically about Jews was profoundly offensive. And many of us going online to say, do not try and capitalize on our loss to feed any political gains. So one hopes that Rashida Tlaib will learn from her mistakes, but we're not holding our breath. And those are your top stories making headlines today. If you want to check out our content this weekend, you can check it out on our website at www.layoftheland.online. You can read a variety of articles, one from Gina Raphael, which explains the incredible revolutionary mask by Argaman, which is an Israeli company. You can read about the phenomenal Captain Tom Moore, a 99-year-old World War II veteran from the UK who has managed to fundraise an astonishing £28 million for the NHS. And you can also read about some of the experiences that people like Trisha Schweitzer and others have had doing March of the Living. You can also check it out on our Facebook page at Lottle Site. Give us a like or a follow if you haven't already joined our community. And everyone who disseminates news about Israel to the public really helps us get Israel's side of the story out. And you can do this by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Look for the Israel Brief and simply click on the subscribe button. So from all of us here at Lay of the Land, we want to wish you a peaceful, a safe and a healthy weekend. Check us out on Facebook tomorrow to see where in the world we're sending our Shabbat greeting from. And Shabbat Shalom. I'm Rashida Marks. This is the Israel Brief.